Hey, so this is a share, thanks to viewer Jennifer, who wanted to point out that when we talk about net earnings from self-employment, which is relevant when we are being calculated as to whether we exceeded SGA, and I will say I believe when we're talking about earnings credits and trying to get enough credits to get your enough earnings to file with your return to get the Social Security earnings credits you may need to extend your date last insured and all that good stuff. So Jennifer brought up the fact, when we just talk about net earnings and self-employment after your business expenses, she brings up a great point that I actually hadn't even thought about. Because we obviously don't engage in this part. These are just shares because we just do the medical. But if you look at, and I will share the page, the POMS section, where they give the procedure on computing NESE, net earnings from self-employment. This doesn't apply to anybody who's a W-2er, an employee of an employer or was. So they talk about gross income from your self-employment, which would include partnership income, which would exclude any types of income so specified by the Act or the Internal Revenue Code. Don't know what those might be. Number 4 is a big one, business expenses. Subtract any ordinary and necessary expenses incurred in carrying on the business. Number 5 is the part that Jennifer was alluding to, and it makes a really good point that you multiply the result by the 0.9235, 92.35%, which has to do with the half of the taxes paid on our income that goes to half of the Social Security taxes that we pay. As you know, self-employed people pay both halves, the employer side and the employee side. Employees only pay the employee side by someone else. The employer is paying that other half for them directly, not even withholding it. They withhold the employee's amount, then they take out of their own pocket the other half and basically subsidize the tax due for the employees. But self-employed people don't have that luxury, I being one of them. So the 92.35, 92%, 92.35%, they want us to multiply that by that after business expenses amount. And it's obviously going to be notably smaller, a smaller amount. So our net earnings from self-employment becomes smaller. Now, when we're talking about trying to make sure we don't go over SGA, that sounds nice. But now I'm like kind of concerned about, it makes it harder if that same definition applies, and it seems to, but again, don't hold me to it. We got to still do the research that applies to the same NESC that applies to earnings credits. Then the 1730 one must have to get an earnings credit in 2024 would be something higher now, wouldn't it? Because if we take 92% and change of that, we are now at 1,500 and something. So something to think about. If I get more concrete, things on it, I will let you know. The SSA has not clarified the question. So anyway, we'll let you know. But great point by Jennifer that the 92.35% will be the number considered, not your 100% after business expenses. So kudos to her. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I will talk to you guys later. And if I come across anything to say otherwise for the earnings credits, and I put the feelers out there to my Social Security peeps to see if that would be the same. So a self-employed person who, has net income after business expenses of 1,730. If the SSA is only going to give them credit for 92% of that, now they're not going to get their credit unless they jack up that earnings even more. So Interesting. Doesn't really seem fair to me, to be honest with you. Me no likey. Anyway, okay, we'll see where it's going. Bye, guys.